Hello everybody. In this video I want to talk about your perception, faking it till you make it. How can be the most important thing you do. It can actually save your life. I want to start with a quote that's at least attributed to Einstein. So we have the most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or hostile universe. You may have heard this quote before, and what I judge it basically means is perception is reality. But we can go a layer deeper on this. How you see the world is actually how the world is to you. All right. And what do I mean by that? So let's say that you come across someone with a fairly ambiguous neutral facial expression. Research shows that if you are more positively inclined, you're more likely to interpret that as neutral or positive. And if you are pessimistic or negatively inclined, you're much more likely to interpret that as a negative facial expression. And then how we perceive things, this is why our perception is reality, is how we end up interacting with them. So we make things come true. If someone has a neutral feeling or look on their face and you approach them with a friendly hello and a handshake, 99 times out of 100, they're going to reciprocate with some sort of positivity, unless they're mentally broken, and then you can write that off as that was them. The same thing with a negative. If you perceive somebody as negative and you come off cold and bad body language and maybe a scowl, people are going to respond and and then you're going to have a negative interaction. Of course, there's nuance to this. This isn't perfectly how it works, but for the most of the time, how you see the world is reality because you are going to interact with it and you're going to make or manifest happen whatever happens. So your perception is reality, whether you live in a friendly or hostile universe. How can we hack this? How can we use it to our advantage? That's why I talked about faking it till you make it. There's a tiny piece of our brain in our brainstem, about 2 inches long, called the RAS, the Reticular Activating System. In my opinion, it's probably the most important part of our brain next to our subconscious mind and our default mode network. But that's for another day. The reason why the RAS is so important is because it's a filter for our brain. You get tons of input every second, and it filters almost everything out and just shows you what is important or relevant to you. And I do quotes because it doesn't mean it's good or bad. It's just you focus on something which tells your brain it's important. This means if you go out of your way to focus on the good, you will program the RAS part of your brain to look for more good. If you focus on the bad, you're programming your RAS to focus for and look for more bad. This is important because, as Einstein's quote implies, you're going to make a friendly or hostile universe. Well, the way I view it is there's basically infinity good out there and there's infinity bad out there. So in the end, which one are you going to focus on? Especially knowing this fact about your brain that I've presented to you. So even if you're really negative and this is really hard, this is like mental push-ups. The more you do it over time, that muscle is going to get stronger. The more you focus on something, the more your brain, the RAS, seeks it out in the environment subconsciously. One little fun common proof for this is you'll notice that when you get a new car, whatever that is, all of a sudden when you're driving around, you start seeing that car everywhere. Maybe you've noticed this. Those cars are always there. Your RAS just wasn't tuned and programmed to seeing it. So you need to fake it till you make it with positivity, or at least trying to see the good in things. Don't gaslight yourself by saying everything's perfect. That's toxic positivity. But when something comes across your desk in life, at least try to see some good in it. If things are neutral or close to neutral, try to find the good in it. We're programmed to see the world in a more positive or negative way. It depends on how you program it. So I'm making you aware, fake it till you make it, try to focus on the positive. As Einstein says, we can tilt it more towards the fact that we live in a friendly universe. Okay, everybody, take care. Hope that helps.